Let's hope this one works. I'm telling you, I don't like Mercury retrograde. Me and Mercury, we don't work. This happens every Mercury retrograde, and I'm like, oh, I really don't want to go through this again. And it cracks me up because we're going to have the nodes in Gemini for 2.5 years. So I'm just thinking, please, universe, let this be okay. So I'm going to wait for everyone to reconnect. I'm kind of spewing because I do feel that read was pretty good. But hopefully we'll wait for everyone to reconnect. And this is part 2 of the earth signs, okay? So with the earth signs, I was tuning into the energy of Taurus. And as I said, I'll wait for everyone to connect and we'll tune back in. It's just the joys of Mercury retrograde, I tell you. Hi, Justine. Don't we just love Mercury retrograde? Now, part 2. Obviously, we're going to have part 2. You guys are lucky. And again, we did mention 2s at the moment for earth signs. 2 for Cancer and Capricorn. Juno, 2 scales. The 2 energy is coming up. And even when the crystals I pulled for you guys, there are 2 crystals. So 2s are very synchronistic at the moment for you guys. As I mentioned, now the energy for Taurus at the moment, there's a transformation coming, but you don't want things to be to the detriment to your health. And I do feel it's a good check-in at the moment. It's a check-in in a sense that you need to be looking at your life. I do feel home-related dynamics coming up potentially. Now, the old energy of where you were and your belief of what your home was, you know, your family, it could be your family life changing, your home, you know, being safe and what that means. Your whole family environment potentially might have changed. Yes, I know, Shelley. I'm back live again. I'm trying to continue. She's messaged me to tell me that it's not live, and I'm like, yes, I know, I had to come back again. The computer froze as well. It completely shut down, so it wouldn't let me budge. So now with your home-related environment, you're needing to look at it, Taurus, from a perspective of what means home to you. Home to you might be a deeply spiritual thing, and I do feel it is the lesson inside, especially since Uranus is in Taurus at the moment. You know, this is a very, very uncomfortable place to be in. When you're trying to assess everything with your 6th house, work may be the only home you have currently. But looking at that and looking at the reasons why, a lot in your life is changing. Now, with the vibration of 4 coming through, this year, what are you going to do? Because, you know, this year's vibration is 4. It's to bring everything together, to be in duality, to bring it all together, to work as a tribe. To bring your whole life collectively together. Now, the Leo moon was 4th house placement, psychology, psyche, you know, your dreams, your hopes, your goals, all of those things coming into the here and now and trying to bring it together. It may have affected your health, some of the cycle. At the moment, it might be also where you're feeling bombarded with downloads, feeling exhausted, feeling overwhelmed, and what do you do now? The Pisces new moon is helping you with that information of the past, linking in with August last year to just the past full moon in Leo, what to do moving forward. On the plans, what resonates, what doesn't, what achievements did you have, note them, and what are you moving towards now in a sense of creating that new kind of life moving forward. I do feel it can be quite, isolating, I feel, for Taurians at the moment, where you don't quite feel that you're linking with anything and it feels really strange. You're being hard on yourself though, you know, and it could be life in general has been very, very hard. And I do feel that you guys, you know, some of it you might be so tired that you feel you can't work, that it is affecting your health, that certain environments aren't balanced. And that's okay too, to actually look at it from that perspective, that you don't know if you want to stay or you want to go. And with the marriages, contracts, and partnerships of Juno coming up, look at those routines and see how you can shift things around. I do feel there's a huge shake-up in your life, and I feel most of you have already experienced it, but it's what you're going to do now to physically move forward. Virgo, your second house, again, is your Juno placement. And for you guys, your self-esteem or your confidence in building and having physical assets, it can be cars, phones, toys, land. You know, you may feel that you want to give that to yourself and to your partnerships. You may feel that you're stuck in a contract. You might be looking at it going, okay, how do I look at this? What do I do if I want to achieve some of these targets? What do I have to do? When you're directly looking at the judgment energy of the second house, now Juno will be retrograde in Libra. And I do believe the energy of Black Moon Lilith in June, you know, Black Moon Lilith is in Aries. We've got Venus in Aries. It's very first house placement at a collective level. Looking at it about the give and take, looking at your life, looking at what resonates with you. And if there's no movement where you have direct power, why in a womb core sense are we not proceeding forward or making a judgment on the situation? But there's deep healing and living in a vibration, okay? The nodes, as I mentioned, are shifting this month, but much of that karmic cycle will be rearing its head during this time in a sense of what needs to go if it hasn't. So if there's loose ends, theoretically, yes, we have ended a karmic cycle. In that vibration of paradigms and dynamics, the frequency and the type of that can be little aspects. They can be divorces, it can be contracts, partnerships, balancing pieces of the puzzle out, moving home. A lot of those areas are going to shift in the next 6 months, as well as we're having nodes change. So for you guys, I do feel, Virgo, your Leo moon was the 12th house. It may have been affecting your psychic mind. You might have been looking at things and going, I can't find a solution to this problem. Or you've got so many options of how something can go, and it's the mind, the mental anguish you've had potentially for the last 6 months, where the exhaustion of it is being purged. It's also deeply important to move in and embody the energy of the 12th house. If you can do that in a work where it's almost where you realize you are non-codependent, you have to come to a place where what is your resolve to this whole decade cycle tying up, and where do you feel in your mind's eye and your inner being spiritually that you've done all you can, that you've achieved all you can in that old energy, and now being open to the new way of moving forward. I do feel you guys are going to have a very, very, you know, this is like Pisces on Pisces energy, because the Leo moon is the 12th house for you guys, Virgo, which is very psychic, but can be at times very distorted, where you have mental BS going on and people coming at you and you trying to like really focus on your life. But it's also, if you quiet the mind, you will understand the reasons why that occurs. 9 times out of 10, it's because you don't want to listen to your thoughts. So the reason the external is showing you something is because you've been paying a lot to the external, but not enough to the inside. So if you can balance that, everything that goes on in our life and we attract is a mirror of what's going on inside. So it's like paying a lot outside, pay a lot more inside. That balances the yin and yang. Now, the Pisces moon for you guys is in your marriages, contracts, and partnerships. So again, it's a double whammy. With that frequency, what you're going to find is, I do feel at a very heavy level, your belief of what you want to give your relationships, is it a belief or is it an expectation? Is it something that you can move towards, or is it something that is told of you? And again, there's this yin and this yang. And with the Juno energy, it will move in subject, like it's going to be in Libra the whole time, potentially all the way through till October. So your belief of what you think a contract is might be connecting in with an asset. That might be a goal you have with a partner. But assess why that's so. Assess if it's relevant for some of you. Others of you, I feel with this energy of contracts, it's coming up into focus, and it's almost like it's coming closer than you thought. What's being told to you this month, what's being shown is fluid energy though. So an intent and a seed might be planted, but because we're having a full moon in Virgo, and it's a super full moon, what you're going to get is you'll get examples of where that's in alignment. It's your first house placement too, Virgo. So you'll be like having a conversation, everything's peachy, we're going to plant these seeds, let's go. Don't get triggered if it doesn't come through full 360 in 24 hours. No, it won't, because this is an energy in each moon phases is going to take some time. But moving into March, you might be a bit peeved if you can see the person isn't putting the money where the mouth is, but it goes both ways, right? Because this is the mirror. So be patient with that, but look at it. And if something's coming up, it's a time to look at these energies. It's a time romantically. It could be fights. It could be understandings. It could be cross wires. It might be beautiful, beautiful plans you're making and your intent for how you, as a single person, if you're single, want your love life to look, how you're going to interact with these people. If you ever get to a statement point in your life romantically, and that's for anybody, where you say, I'm just not going to tell people what I'm feeling, that's pointless, because that is from a pain body experience and it doesn't mean you'll get a different result. It's just fact, right? Many times what you get is we get scared, so we close down and we're like, right, healthy boundaries. Healthy boundaries, some people can feel that means I won't let a person in. Well, no. Healthy boundaries is if you don't feel comfortable doing something, don't do it. Right. And then if you do want to do it, don't be mad at yourself or question your intuition that you chose to do it. Right. We'll get into Capricorn, and then I'm going to pull a level 4 romance all together collectively for Earth. Now, Capricorn, again, Juno is your 10th house. Your 10th house, again, is about your reputation, your fame, your lack of, your connections. You might have been misaligned, okay? This energy is about where the misalignment was in your belief system with what you felt your role was, what you felt your hopes and dreams were. It shows us where, you know, the contracts and partnerships, why were we doing them? Why are we connected in with work? Why are we connected in with tribe? Why are we connected in with romance? Why are we connected in with that wire? The 10, it's like, okay, was it for, okay, it can be like a trophy bride scenario. Example, with a person, with a job, with whatever that be, if it spiritually feels in alignment with you, it's alignment energy. It's fine. You wouldn't be questioning it. But if it's not, look at the reason why it doesn't resonate with you and make peace with that. Because you guys have most of your energy through this year and the last 2.5 years has been 7th house placement, which is Juno energy in Libra. The contracts, partnerships, relationships, like what are the links? What are the links in the DNA connected to this? Is this who you are to the core? Is there something you can change? I'm feeling very blue at the moment. Now, the Leo moon was your 8th house, Capricorn. Now, your 8th house, for you guys, you're looking at the deeper meaning why things are, who you could depend on, who you couldn't, having to be very, almost not wanting people to get in, you know, because you need to be quite strict with yourself and keep everything in check. It's like a grand manager. Grand manager. The non-attachment to things is very much, if you are attached to something, the Leo moon was showing you how that did not help you, how that energy didn't help you. You might have had a trigger point because somebody passed. We have had a lot of passings this year and towards the end of last year as well. It is linking in, you know, some souls choose to come for a time frame and transcend over. The 3D body isn't here, but the soul is present at all times. It's the third eye that doesn't see it. It's like We've trained ourselves to unsee things even though energy is everywhere. It's kind of strange to explain. Life, death, money, and legacies in the 8th house, it's the non-attachment to things and the reason why, but it's about looking at the deeper spiritual reason why the ebbs and flows of life and death occurs. And being comfortable with that, but also really digging in deep inside yourself of what all transformations mean. And with the Aries and Chiron energy, it's almost like the peeling away of that onion that is deeply painful to take all of that what hurt us out, because it's the only thing at this point standing in our way of happiness. But it's like peeling that and exposing those wounds. What would that mean if you were organically, authentically you and you spoke your truth? Now, the Pisces energy coming through for you guys on the 23rd, I believe it is. Let me check. Yeah, the 23rd. It's your 3rd house. Now, I'm telling you, this is to do with movement and communication. It links into the nodes going into Gemini. Communication, self-expression, short journeys, very Mercury energy, very, okay, what are you wanting to communicate in this situation? What new way do you want to deal with these scenarios? What movement energy, who are you now? Who is the new version of you after this deep transformative state? Now I'm going to pull the cards for the energy coming through with romance. Which ones do I want? Yeah, I want these. So many of you, you're coming to this epiphany point. Of what you're wanting to create. Past tense energy, very Neptune, okay? And Dolphina was Medusa's, when I see dolphins, it reminds me of Dolphina, which is a linking constellation inside of Neptune's constellation, but it is linking into Medusa's child. Now, the shadow energy at the moment is very much the energy of Black Moon Lilith and Aries. She's coming through quite feistily, so especially in female energy, especially connecting in with the vibration of children and mother energies and nurturing and home-related environments, in love and contracts and marriages and partnerships. It's like all of these. It's the shadow aspect of us. And then we've got, what was the other one? We got Venus in Aries, which again is quite Mars-like energy. Like, it can be very passionate, but it can be very brutal in communication style. And Pisces, it's like the distortion of what we're thinking on really messing with our romance house. Like these mixed up thoughts that we hold in our crown can be deeply, deeply traumatic situations that we're trying to articulate, but it's coming through the higher heart chakra rather than the heart chakra. But it's better out than in, right? But just be careful because we're in Mercury retrograde. All good, love. Take care. And now, with Dolphina, the past tense energy was, it was nicer to dream, wasn't it? But now we've hit this reality paradigm. We're paying attention to the visions. We're paying attention to how important it is for us to directly start moving in the direction that we feel positive. We're also accepting the fact that there's yin and yang, there's dark and light, that we're going to have to deal with some things to push them out of our way, to get to accept your enemies, okay? Haters be haters. They're going to be there, but accept it. Peace, love, and light. Move along. Don't allow the enemy in to block your path moving forward. The enemy within directly could be, it's better to be a wise fool and be a fool for love, for instance, as long as you're not codependent, you got everything sorted. Love is the salt and pepper in life. Our passions are the salt and pepper in life. But it's also the energy of where we need to look at things and accept the fact that haters be haters. But do we have a demon inside that stops us from transforming? Yes, we all do. There are wounds. And what can we do to find the lessons in them so we can liberate ourselves out of this? And I do feel, being that I've landed on the Capricorn energy, love you, and call me after dark, the energy is really where you're looking at life of where you came and where you're going, and some things don't mesh with who you are now. So it's, situations, wounds, your hopes and dreams, the playful version of who you are, the heavy responsibility of having this transit go through has reached many to the point you're physically exhausted. But it's for the bigger picture moving forward. We are showing two things to actually leave behind a path that is not destined for you. Okay. Immaturity in the past. Currently, it might be a transformation that each is going through in a healing sense, but you do need to do clearing of your house. A lot of us do need to do energy clearing and jinn removal. Again, ancestor to me is you are not defined by your past. You also are in the midst of breaking an old pattern that is linked into family, past life, etc. But also your tribe is directly who you choose to mix with, not necessarily DNA. Any questions? Can't believe I got through 3 already. I'm sorry about the technology. I can't really do much about it. So this applies even though I'm heavy water. Yeah, well, the nodes are in Capricorn, so it will. That's what I'm talking about. You'll actually find that each element links in with you, and it's a different way to look at your life transforming. A different way. Don't even know what time it is here. Odd dreams. Well, we are with the frequency of Pisces moon moving in, so you'll have the Neptunian energy coming up. Odd dreams in a TF path generally relate to the oversouls talking to each other. And I do feel a bit of timeline jumping at the moment, but I'll talk about that later. Yeah, well, that's what they were saying with the energy of Juno at the moment. Juno, Aries, and Black Moon Lilith. It's almost like we're guided with our contracts, marriages, and partnerships and, spiritual connections, not to make any rash decisions right now, to be in the dream state. The Pisces energy is Neptune, which, especially for people that have been moving through ascension symptoms, you're tapped into it already. So you'll get these other paradigms coming through to give you different viewpoints of shifting realities of what they are. But it's almost like, it legitimately is like there are alternate realities. It's switching the energy. So visions and that, you're in the matrix. You're in the middle, which is almost 4D. Seeing both realms. Be careful with your third eye, guys. Have no attachment, and that's what the Aries energy in Chiron is asking us to do. Non-attachment to it. Look at the wounds. We're not Gaia, we're not God, we're not any of those. So our ego is telling us that's not so, and that is our spiritual blockage. And the reason it's been shown to us is to trigger us, because we're looking at it and going, this is the way it's going to be forever, which is a total lie. We're lying to ourselves. It's not a reality. A cyclone could come in here and I could have like a waterbed. Nothing is permanent. There's infinite impermanencies in life, but our ego paints a picture and goes, it's never going to happen. Exactly, but our ego is telling us, no, this person's been the same forever, but has our mindset on that situation been consistently inconsistent? We do jump back and forward. When we're in complete detachment, we won't even think about it. We'll know it's going to happen. We won't care what time it is. We won't care how that be, where we'll be, how it'll be. We just completely, amethyst. There you go. Amethyst energy, Shelley. Understanding that our psychic downloads are what is. But we also need to understand its potential in 3D. When your belief and you're living in a 5D reality, it's like it's only pretty in a dream. you then got to question, why am I having such a beautiful romantic energy in the 5D? Because you don't believe it can happen in the 3D. So it feels safer there because, you know, less adversity, less drama, less BS. Require it in the 3D. Gain clarity that you are deserving of that in a 3D life, not just in 5D. I mean, hey, I could have all sorts of wicked dreams in the 3D, which yeah. Anyway, love and light, and I will be back soon.